going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back. And I do appreciate the support. As the days come to where Kada Scott, Philadelphia native that lost her life, 23 years old, story we've been covering on this channel, is laid to rest. More information has come out. And it's mainly about the lawyer of Keon King, the guy that's responsible or being charged with her murder. This guy, Shaka Johnson, has came out and made another television appearance within the last 20 minutes. Now he's on a show called Good Day America, Good Day Philadelphia. And he's talking with these people and they're grilling him with questions and he's defending himself because news has come out that the family of Kada Scott does not want him representing Keon King. And they started a petition with 2,000 names and counting to get him removed from the case. Now, this guy right here decided to get on TV again and talk. And in my opinion, this whole thing seems all about him. Ain't really about his client, but he said a couple of things about Keon King's family and stuff I don't believe, but I'm gonna let you guys see it. Leave me a comment of some of the stuff that he say if you believe it or not. Take a look. Here's the latest.
Well, the family of Kada Scott is asking for attorney Shaka Johnson to withdraw from representing Keon King.
And you know that name because the 21-year-old faces numerous charges in the death of Kada Scott, including murder, kidnapping, conspiracy, abuse of corpse, and tampering with evidence.
In a Change.org petition, the Scott family says in part, quote, Philadelphia attorney Shaka Johnson has chosen to represent Keon King in this deeply painful and high-profile case. While every person has the right to legal representation, this comes a point where morality must outweigh professional ambition. So with those comments, we wanted to get the comment from Shaka Johnson himself. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Who approached you to take the case in the first place?
His parents.
Keon King's parents?
Yes, his parents.
Now, are you the one that convinced him to turn himself in?
I walked in with him. Yes, I turned him in, and that was before he was formally charged with anything having to do with her disappearance, her kidnapping, the arson, the murder subsequently. That was before any of that.
But you were already representing him officially at that point?
On the strangulation case that you've now heard about, that they're calling the first one. Right. The district attorney contacted me directly. That's why these remarks are so, quite frankly, nonsensical. Because the district attorney contacted me, said, listen, I understand you're representing Keon King on this first strangulation. No doubt there may be some other charges coming down the pipe, but would you surrender him? Consulted with my client, consulted with his parents. We decided to do that. Had no idea that this had any relationship to Kada Scott or this sort of case
why
of
would
this
the parents
magnitude.
ask you to represent it? So did they, when they saw the news coverage, did they think their son did it?
No. They came to me long before they knew their son was ever involved. His name was even swept up in this whole case. They had no idea. No idea. They thought that their son was in very little trouble. Very little trouble.
Well, then why turn himself in?
Well, because they're law-abiding folks. The parents are salt-of-the-earth people. If their son is being sought after, they want to hire an attorney. Please get to the bottom of it. See why the authorities.
Exactly. So that's where they wanted to
see
comply.
why my son is being sought after, and let's investigate it. That's exactly what it is. They had no idea he was associated with this. We obviously came to find that out, and at that point, I was already his attorney.
And because of the strangulation case, why was he out?
The case was withdrawn. That strangulation.
Because the victim didn't show up in court?
Because the victim did not show up in court.
Why don't they just do it by Zoom?
Well, no. You have the right. We have constitutional protections, and people have to come to court. You can't wage allegations against a person and then get on the computer. You got to come down participate in the process that you began.
But aren't there some cases where even, for example, like domestic violence, or the situations where even if the victim isn't able to come forward, that they're still able to prosecute, or is that just a different scenario?
No, it's a slightly different scenario.
Okay.
But in this particular case, she was given the opportunity to come to court twice. She didn't come to court, and so the case was withdrawn. As happens, let me be clear, this is not something that is highly irregular. It'll happen probably 50 times today. It happens every day. When I say every day, not once or twice.
Where victims are not, as far,
where
what are you referring
cases
to?
are withdrawn or discharged, or the government voluntarily withdraws the charges because the so-called victim or the complainant is not there.
If nobody agrees to defend him as an attorney, is that when they appoint a public defender?
Well, I don't know that many people would not agree to defend him. We represent, when I say we, I'm speaking about the criminal defense bar. We represent people from all walks of life who are accused of all manner of heinous crimes, okay? And
I remember didn't you represent a Proud Boy at
yes,
one time?
I did. Yes, I did. I represented Zachary Real, or one of the leader of the
case.
Proud Boys.
Did you have any folks from the community upset when you were
No.
representing him?
I got no emails. I got no social media, whatever. I got none of that. And I'm talking about, and he was obviously not the most high-profile person. Of course, you remember when I went and got Maurice Hill from that police barricade standoff for 8 hours. Like, this is what I do. This is what I do.
what
at
do
a
you-
high
And
level.
how long have you been doing this?
Almost 20 years.
So is this the first time then that you've seen, because there's a petition that's also been put out that has about 2,000 signatures of people asking for you to withdraw from representing Keon King. Here is the about 2,500 petition. People have been posting. Have you ever had reaction like this from the community for representing someone? Or
No, never. And quite frankly, I'm not sure if it's the clickbait. Like, I'm not sure why this particular case, like why this one case, because you cover news, you cover violent crimes. You know, there are people getting killed on a daily basis in this community. Now, I'm not talking about worldwide. In our city of Philadelphia, there are men and women and boys and girls murdered daily. They all have lawyers. So I'm not sure why this particular case.
Maybe it's all because everybody involved in the case is black.
Well, we're in Philadelphia. Out of the
I know.
1.6 million people in this town, most of the crimes in that criminal justice center are perpetrated against black people by black people.
Well, and we should mention that was brought up in the petition. If you look at what's on the website, it says, as a respected black attorney, Shaka Johnson's involvement in this case sends a chilling message to the black community that even those who claim to fight for justice are willing to defend known abusers, even those responsible for harming and killing black women.
Yeah, that's really sad rhetoric, and people should be really more conscious of their words and the things they put out to the unsuspecting public, because if they were to take just one moment to get from behind the computer and come down to the courthouse, you would see that the rooms are chock full of people who are accused, people who look like me, accused of committing domestic violence, against people who are against victims who look like me as well. And they have black attorneys, black private attorneys, black public defenders. I don't know that this is necessarily black versus white, honestly. I think this is more about the reputation that I've garnered as a successful attorney.
I think that's part of it. You have been very successful. Maybe they think you're too successful. Answer a couple other charges. He's doing it for money.
Me? No. I could do this case for free. It wouldn't really affect my bottom line.
Okay, doing it for notoriety.
Then what do we say about, I know we don't have that sort of time, and we're not here for that, but I could give you probably 15 cases that I've done in the last maybe 5 years that are of higher notoriety than this, to be honest with you, right? So that's not it. People come to your office and they consult with you, and they say, listen, Alex, at one point there was a gentleman, giving you some grief, and it had to go to court. That gentleman had an attorney. Right? So people have attorneys. That is part of the constitutional protections. What few we have left, those are the constitutional protections that are still in place. Due process. You get a lawyer when you are accused of a crime, and you get a lawyer of your choosing.
Is this hurtful for you?
No, I don't operate on the frequency of social media. I'm not on that bandwidth at all.
One last thing, just since you've been representing him even before these charges came out, and I know this is going to be played out in court, so there's probably not too much you can say, but is there more about, because people have been assuming and trying to figure out all kinds of reasons. Is there more that we will learn about Keon King? Do you think he is mentally stable enough to do trial?
I think you're going to hear some more about Keon King, and the reason why I have been interestingly quiet. Right? Because I think you both know that I'm not afraid of cameras. I'm not afraid of a microphone. I will pull up a podium. That's what I do. In this particular case, you've noticed I have been deafeningly silent. I haven't said a single word. This is my second interview. I did one Friday and then one today on this particular subject matter, and nothing about the case, because I want this to play out in court where the rules are different. The court of public opinion has no rules. You can do what you want, say what you want, like the DA's been doing so far. I am not doing that. I want this to play out in court where we have rules.
Okay, we want to get you on tape saying this. Will you withdraw from this case?
N-O.
Well, that's your side of the story.
And I'm sticking to it.
Right.
Yes, thank you. And we also want to mention, of course, that we've been talking with the family, and if the family's more to say, we will also get their side, as we played some quotes for you there.
But they
from
asked
their petition.
that everybody stop, asking them for statements until this woman is laid to rest, and so we'll respect that for sure.
True.
But we
And that's
just
part
wanted
of
to
the reason.
mention
Can I just say that, Alex? That's part of the reason that I haven't said very much. I'm trying to show the most respect, and I think you can do two of these things at the same time. You can show respect to the decedent and her family, and sort of, believe it or not, the defense attorney can be a part of that healing process. You can, which is why I've been quiet and just doing the work where the courtroom suggests I do the work.
All right, it'll be played out in court. We'll come right back.